Hello mogul, it's about time individuals. Understand that you can be rich regardless. Be one of the most 10 individuals in the world. How does that platitude go once more? Cash talks and abundance murmurs well. There's no one who follows this residue. More than these individuals, here are 10 very rich individuals who live like regular persons. Stick around to the end, since a portion of these are very amazing. Number 1 will stun you. Number 10. Kate Middleton. Like mother, like little girl in regulation, the Duchess of Cambridge is quite possibly of the most notable outfit repeaters on the planet. While a portion of the 1% of big names could track down it underneath them to appear on television wearing a similar outfit. On numerous occasions, Kate Middleton is the ideal illustration of exactly how juvenile that mindset is. After all, there are so many better things to burn through cash on. Perhaps she's gotten her propensities from the sovereign, or she's normally frugal. One way or another, greetings to the Duchess. She's more brilliant than a great many people in the world. Her $10 million fortune will not be squandered, that is without a doubt. And discussing popular ladies in apparel, we have another public symbol who has showed how her can be unquestionably brilliant. With her cash number 9, Michelle Obama. The words class and Michelle Obama go connected at the hip. While in the White House, she paid for the sum of her closet, picking the citizens' cash to go into additional significant undertakings. The majority of the dresses and outfits she wore while her spouse was in office were given by architects. For all the other things she went retail. Michelle Obama demonstrates that there's no such thing as excessively modest, and assuming anybody lets you know that it is there, most likely not worth your experience. On one of her appearances on NBC's Today Show, she was wearing a 35 dress from the quick style brand H&M. Goodness, Michelle, you're very much like us, or not. After all, she had a total assets of $70 million, yet she certainly didn't arrive by blowing cash on things she didn't require. Number 8. Keanu Reeves. Bet you didn't have the foggiest idea this one coming. Is there any finish to this man's temperances? Not in the least. Does Keanu Reeves dress unassumingly, but on the other hand, he's picked against the extravagant way of life a significant number of his VIP peers love entryway with a net worth of $380 million. It would be the least demanding thing on the planet for him to blow a cool several factories on a couple costly extravagance vehicles. Still, the entertainer goes by open travel like the metro. In the event that you saw him on the road, you'd be unable to remember him as one of the most generously compensated entertainers on the planet. He's a man of the individuals completely. After all, who doesn't cherish Keanu? Yet talking about your peers living to Senate ways of life and displaying how much cash they have, we have the Lord of YouTube himself up next. Number 7. PewDiePie. He's a vocalist, he's a joke artist, and he's additionally the greatest YouTuber out there, except if you're counting super enterprises with limitless assets behind them. Of course, taking a gander at UT series note, Felix Schellberg is an independent man. Totally, and he will always remember his unassuming roots, while his individual YouTubers carry on with gaudy ways of life in law, drawing a large number of debates. PewDiePie stays humble. A brief glance at any recordings will show you the equivalent unobtrusive face. It's hoodies and shirts aplenty. He doesn't spend cash on vehicles he can't passage. Furthermore, cut down the creation financial plan later. He severed from Disney the majority of the time. He even movies from an extra room in his home. PewDiePie knows that when you're on, best individuals will realize you don't need to attempt to show it to everybody. What is it that individuals say abundance hushes up? What's more, nobody demonstrates it better than this. Next section, obviously. Number 6, imprint Zuckerberg. There's no way this rundown would be finished without Mark Zuckerberg himself being the president of one of the greatest organizations in the world, having launched the time of online entertainment and turning into the 5th most extravagant individual with a total assets of over 70 billion. Imprint will not need to stress about cash at any point in the near future in his life yet. Assume you pass by him in the city. In that case, you believe he's simply a normal millennial for a new college alumni, battling to take care of his understudy loans. In pretty much every image drifting around on the web, imprint should be visible wearing his unique pants and a dark shirt in the vehicle he uses to head to work. A $30,000 Acura. Knowing Zuckerberg, there's most likely a ton of imagine that went behind this public picture, yet nothing bad can be said about that. As a matter of fact, imprint and his better half have uncovered that the two intend to part with the majority of their abundance before they pass on at this point. That is a plan we can all get behind. Raise a ruckus around town button before we get to the keep going. Not many individuals on the rundown. You have around 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Ideally, by buying into us, you'll figure out how individuals okay with their abundance live continue to watch. You won't ever think about who took our main spot. Number 5, Vincent Kartheiser. This one may be somewhat obscure to you generally, since Kartheiser still can't seem to land any amazing jobs the remainder of the individuals on this rundown have had, yet he still needs to make his reasonable portion of the cash. After all, he was the lead job in the hit show Psycho and has piled up a total assets of around $3 million. She may be the most unaffluent on this list, yet that number isn't something to laugh at. Yet in spite of his gigantic achievement throughout everyday life and a lifelong direction that just is by all accounts going vertical, Kartheiser has not surrendered his modest disposition. Presently, he doesn't make a special effort to intrigue. He dresses like the normal person on the road. He doesn't actually drive. In reality, the man is moderate to such an extent that he's in the ace course of parting with, or on the other hand, selling anything he doesn't require. However, assuming you need somebody really at the highest point of the rundown, we have those individuals forthcoming also, and we're not discussing many millions. It is possible that we're discussing all out incredible line rich individuals. Number 4, Amancio Ortega. Don't perceive the name don't concern you. Presumably recollect the brand. Amancio Ortega is behind Zara and has a silly total assets of $80 billion, the most extravagant retailer in the universe. Obviously, you'd never figure that by simply checking out at them. Ortega comes from an extremely modest foundation, and albeit today he's the proprietor of one of the most notable dress organizations on the planet. He'll in any case ordinarily wear a basic shirt and jeans. He never wears a tie, despite the fact that he once in a while wears a suit. Also, he's so confidential about his life that prior to 1999, no single photo of him was accessible to the public. He's likewise a large aficionado of good cause, giving millions to medical services. The majority of these gifts go back to his nation of origin, Spain, and in the event that he wasn't enough for you, we have another very rich person next up on the rundown. Number 3, Ingvar Kamprad was the proprietor of IKEA. Truth be told, the organization's name explains his initials, the first letter of his family's ranch in the first letter of a close-by town back home in Sweden. This makes him the subsequent sweet On this rundown, alongside PewDiePie perhaps. Unobtrusiveness is a typical characteristic in the country. All through his life Comprat amassed over 50 billion and was even the most extravagant man on the planet. Still, he always remembered when he used to sell matchsticks from his bike. The extremely rich person could frequently be seen wearing garments that looked well adored, and he typically just went on economy class trips alongside his spouse. The two gave regular couple energy, and that made us love these two even more. However, hello, on the off chance that you're burned out on finding out about chiefs who you don't be aware of. Next we have somebody who has turned into a easily recognized name. Number 2, Warren Buffett. The prophet of Omaha himself. He's a finance manager, financial backer, altruist, and one of the most notable countenances across America. He's likewise one of the most extravagant individuals on the planet, as indicated by Forbes. He has more than a $100 billion total assets, so it's astonishing that a man of his height actually decides to live in a similar house he purchased north of 60 years back, and he couldn't at any point surrender it either, as indicated by everything he said. Financial backers, the $31,500 he paid for it was the best arrangement he made in light of the fact that he had over a portion of 10 years of recollections now. That is a feeling we can all get behind. There's no cost for blissful recollections, and at long last, we're toward the finish of the rundown. This individual is one of the most looked for after entertainers on the planet. Seeing him carrying on with a modest life is lowering itself. Number 1, Leonardo DiCaprio. Astonished? You'd be stunned there as well in the event that you saw him on the road, since when he's not on set for the creation of another billion-dollar film, Leonardo DiCaprio is totally unrecognizable, rather than causing to notice himself with costly apparel and huge vehicles. He goes in and out of town on leased bicycles, in a baseball cap and shorts. Not terrible for a man with a total assets of north of $300 million. Plainly, he's gotten the hang of something from his Gatsby character, displaying what you have consistently wound up in misfortune. These individuals have demonstrated that on the off chance that you need to become rich, you want to learn step-by-step instructions to live like poor people, and that you try not to have to spend your money on dumb things to display what you have just purchased. Something you want regardless of whether it's garish. After all, no one becomes rich except if they can go with brilliant choices, except if you score a sweepstakes. Yet we as a whole expertise that goes. What is your take of every one of these individuals who carry on with humble lives regardless of having all the cash on the planet? Let us know in the remarks underneath. In the event that you partaken in this video, like and buy in and try to watch this next one.